Hello, everybody, and welcome to Chaotic Neutral Games. And we're back with our regular Friday night, 8 p.m.-ish session, The Benefactor. I am here today with Nick, Corinne, Kate, and Felicia as we carry on with episode 65 of The Benefactor. We enjoyed having other people join us last night. We had Logan and Sean for the second in our chained one-shots, or at least the first part, because the guys are taking their time, but that's good. They're enjoying it. Of the Silent Wars, as I say, loosely narrative-based bunch of one-shots, still in Illyria, elsewhere in South Vardencore, where members of the deputation are doing their mercenary police force thing. Today, we are continuing with our crew coming back from the Hermit's Isle, soon to be, I don't know, Cape of Good Glory, Fort Glory, Glory Island, Grand Gloria, I don't know, something like that. But yes, they've come back from the island, leaving a member of the Drowned Kings there to start their little hideaway, their little fort, the base of operations. But don't worry, they're not evil. It's not the inside of an active volcano, so we're all good. So hopefully we should be going for some interesting developments coming soon. They're starting to get plans or just randomly doing things that look like plans. So they're coming back to Ostergold, and there are plenty of untouched threads that they need to pull, both personal storylines and the greater plot as a whole. I've got some things for them, but let's see what they can make for themselves in episode 65 of The Benefactor.
Never.
And welcome back, everybody. So we do have a Nick this time. Hello, sir. And unfortunately, we only have him.
We only have sound, but that's all any of us can cope with, so that's fine.
That's fine.
I'll fucking remember that next time you need help.
Well,
help me, Farewell, I'm dying! And I will whisper no.
What was that? Death saving throws. Death saving throws. How many? One more. How many?
Oh, don't worry about it. You've got 2 more.
Oh no, you crit failed. Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah.
It'd be really nice if somebody had Revivify prepared, wouldn't it? Oh well, maybe tomorrow.
All I have to say is that Taliesin thought he had 2 more until that bloody Jinn got him. Anyway, so the sea is rolling beautifully, and you're starting to get in tune with the life on the ocean waves, and thinking of other possibilities, other lives that you could be living other than this one. Thinking about the life of the nation of the 7 sails, as they call this rolling landscape home, both violent and peaceful, and in equal measure. Soon you see the sprawling coastal view of Ostergold, situated in a natural harbour, and the crescent-shaped city making good advantage of the safe harbour that it provides. You pull up to the pier, and you see a smiling Kalashtar captain that I haven't got the name of in my notes because I've been trying to find it all day, and I'm hoping that Nick has it. It's the one from the one shot where we picked up Iden. I seem to have lost that particular set of notes. And she's looking on smiling as you pull into court. Pull into port. And you hear her call over to Cora. "Oh, hey, Captain. You come back victorious, eh?"
Yeah, we do. We've acquired property and cannons. Do you need a cannon? We're probably selling a few.
I'm okay for cannons, but it's useful to have them. I've got spell cannons myself. And she turns around and points to her ship, and you can see these strange arcane monstrosities, 4 on each side, and you can see stood next to those is a upright Shackleman gunner that has a bunch of strange cylinders hanging from their belt.
Cora tries not to look too jealous. Probably fails.
But I started with the black cannon ones. They're black powder ones. They're good. They're good. They'll see you through. Yeah. Your fleet is growing, Cora Yosina.
It is, and I hold up the another folding boat.
Okay, you actually get a look of surprise out of her, and she goes, "And it turns out your fleet can go on the back of a cart as well. That's something that mine can't do."
Yeah. There you go. I don't know that the cannons can go in it, though, so we'll have to figure that one out. It might just sink to the bottom of the harbour as soon as we fold it away. But anyway, we'll figure that. We'll take them off, right, guys? I don't know.
You can see that the skags are the second that they throw the lines over the bollards. There's a whooping sound that comes from them all, and they start grabbing the cannons, the balls, everything like that, knowing that this is a folding ship, and they start to bring them all onto the pier for you. You do also notice that a couple of changes, even looking at the promenade. For one thing, you can see that polished demon skulls have been put on the buildings, and in some cases they have a board underneath with a simple word written in common: remember. Also, you've noticed that the roustabouts that hang around the port, normally you'd have to negotiate with them to get them to take things off the ship, but they're running to your ship and helping take off things from the Shackleman Skags, but they're also looking at you, Cora, being that you've got the hat, and apparently you've been acknowledged by this other captain, and they're tipping their brow to you, tipping the hat to you as they come on board and start piling all of your booty onto the pier. The captain turns around to you and she says, "If I'm not mistaken, you're short one crew member. Am I to understand there's an understanding between you all?"
Oh, yes. They are alive and well, and helping to look after our new property.
We're helpful lots.
We will probably be, well, the word might go around, I guess. I'm not sure how word travels with you guys, but we are figuring out what to do with the new island and how it can benefit us all.
I'm sure I'll be kept in the loop. And she turns around and says, "You paid me too much earlier. Here," and flicks a coin up in the air at you, Cora, and you catch it. When you look at it...
Oh, I thought you were going to make me roll for that one. Okay, carry on.
Actually, this is an opportunity to embarrass you.
Yeah. Go on. Damn, why did I...
Should I have said anything?
Yeah, I know.
LeBron, don't ask for rolls to
where's the fun in that? What was this?
Acrobatics.
Acrobatics. 8.
Nimbly placing your hand in front of it. 8. Yep. it falls on the floor, tink, 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 and you kind of scrabble after it. But yes, when you
And then pick it up and be like,
you can see that it's a pewter coin, and it has what seems to be 7 pieces of cloth tied together in a single knot. And this particular one has a chain all the way around it. And as you pick it up, it seems to be incredibly shiny and new. And you know that coins get chipped and they get muddy and all the rest of it. This they get tarnished at least. This has got a bit of dirt on it, but nothing that you can't just wipe off. It has no tarnish at all, which signifies to you it's probably a magical item.
Without question.
Keep me informed, Captain.
will
You
do.
Skags, we're going to be going soon. Get all this stuff onto the pier. Get dismissed by Captain Yosanal here. And then I want you back on the ship. And she walks around to the to her own ship, looks back and kind of gives you a little bit of a wink, which she's clearly athletic. She's a beautiful figure, actually. Kind of a rogue-like figure, so more kind of dex than strength. I described it before, but I'll just take a quick moment. Bronze skin, much like Noki's. You've got the gold orbs for eyes. Hair almost always in this kind of long trestle cornrows, and micro braids going down her back, bunched together with metal clasps. She's wearing just a really kick-ass pair of pirate boots, kind of skin tight leather trousers, and a kind of billowing mariner's shirt, and very kind of confident, a lot of swagger, and she's got a cutlass at her hip, and seems to be owning the area. Everybody seems to be looking to her for leadership. Very clearly a natural captain. Okay. So, the goods get put onto the quayside. The harbour master comes up and says, considering your ship isn't going to really be moored here, it's going to pack away. I saw you unpack it. I don't think I need to charge you any mooring, and I believe that's your warehouse over there, isn't it? So I don't think I have to pay you for storage. Ask you to pay for storage either. I think we're all good here.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if you remember, Glory's workshop is on the
Totally
promenade.
forgot that we had that warehouse. Until you said that, I was like, oh yeah, that was like from episode 1, basically.
Episode 1, yeah, you'll find it in episode 1. It's an old warehouse. It's still under the Green Organization, and after the time skip, you notice that Glory has a small enchantment workshop there, and there's a few other bits and pieces, and generally it's where you store things, and you've got like a couple of training dummies and whatever things you would kind
I
of
don't know if it was ever fixed, but I remember that Glory got attacked by some stuff from Excellence during the time skip, because she remembered that. So is there any traces, or has it been repaired?
Well, of damage, it's all been repaired, but there are a few kind of slightly browner floorboards where the Dretch blood has dried into it and permanently stained the wood. But you kind of liked it, so you kept it. It's a sign of your victory. Splashes in blood. Yeah. So yeah, you step onto the promenade and hear the hustle and bustle of the city around you, and suddenly you feel very small again. It does occur to you that not a week ago, this city was beset by demons, people screaming and running.
It's been a month, Simon.
Yes, a month.
A month. Sorry, a month. Yeah, because we had time skip, didn't we? Well, we had downtime. Not 2 months ago. Then this city was besieged, but now life has returned to normal. There's people laughing and joking in the streets, people arguing in the streets. Old friendships, old enmities have come back to the surface, and life continues as normal. And you stride into the city. The day is yours. What would you like to do?
Oh my.
Well, I need to take this canopic jar to Jacob and
Garrett.
Wizard.
We also have a box with a cat in it. We should head to Dusk.
Yes,
Oh,
to
yes,
the temple.
that. Yes, I want the sword.
Yep. It's currently vibrating on the on the pier side. It seems to be fighting less now.
Should we do that first, Eclipse? Because
Yes.
the blades might be of interest. They might be able to tell you something about the blades.
Yes, that would be very good. Yes, let's go. Let's go farewell, and also we can visit the baby while we're there.
Oh yeah.
Because they'll keep the baby in the temple, to the goddess of dying and fate. But let's just see what happens.
So we're not going to go see the baby.
Yeah.
We have better things to do, and the child is suffered enough without us lunatics being in its life.
Speak for yourself.
Let us focus on the main thing.
Yeah, speak for yourself, Harman.
So, you hail one of many carters that go around the city. And I'd say that they probably recognize Cora. A lot of the carters here are mostly from Freetown. They will spend the whole day shifting about heavy items, and then at the end of the day be kicked out of the city. Less unkindly these days, due to Freetown's instrumental part in the saving of the city. And you do notice that the Freetowners seem to be just that little bit more relaxed, that little bit more involved. They're seen less as a separate people. They seem to be that they are part of the city now. Still the lower classes, but there's less of this apologetic look about them all. They stand up a bit straighter, and someone says, "Well, actually, let me use my NPC generator now that I've improved it." Okay, so a burly woman walks up to you, and you recognize her straight away. Even though she's looking slightly better dressed, her hair is clean and tied back, whereas previously you'd see her hair quite dishevelled. She's got very unusual eyes, got split irises, but she is human. So she's got kind of two pairs of irises in each eye, and you know her as Gloria. And she walks up to you. That was straight off the generator. Gloria and Gloria. There we go. She walks up to you and says, "Cora, do you need some help with that? You do know it's moving, don't you?"
Yeah, but you don't want to.
You should put some holes in that thing, because live produce that should need to breathe.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to breathe. That's the problem. We're on our way to the temple.
Oh.
Didn't we have it in the bag of holding, Simon?
Oh yeah, it's the carpet bag of holding, isn't it? Yeah.
We did have it in there.
Fine. Okay. In that case,
it could be on the
you don't even need the.
I mean, we can have it out, but
You don't even need the carter then. So yeah, Gloria buggers.
Well,
up
we
have.
I mean, we have all these cannons. Oh no, we put them in the warehouse.
In the warehouse, yeah. The
We
roustabouts swept them away.
we do the cart because we're lazy asses. We're now above
Okay,
ourselves.
sure.
We do a cart and we give back. It's a way to give back because then we can pay someone.
Sure. Thank you for saving this NPC's.
You're
moment.
welcome.
So yeah, you get taken by cart out of the city into Freetown, where a great many people are calling on you, calling at you fondly. Not only for the fact that you again were well-known people in the siege of Ostergard, but also but for Sahastra, the antics that you played in the Festival of Love, which was in Freetown itself. So you're kind of known for being good fun. You track through Freetown, and you get to what Farewell, for Farewell, is home away from home. In fact, his old home is still parked up in the yard behind the temple as you get to the Raven Queen's temple outside of the city. A large, imposing but not entirely unwelcoming sight. The Raven Queen assures you that she will see you safely in the hereafter. And for some people, especially in Freetown where there's a lot of mortality, that's a reassuring thought. It's in the right place. And as you pull up, a paladin of the Raven Queen steps forward, tiefling, bright blue-eyed, and a kind of pale green skin with beautiful light blue horns, and says, welcome, any of you... Oh, I was about to ask if you're ill. Father Farewell, hello.
Sorry, what?
You're here? Presumably for some business?
No. The first bit, the sorry, what?
She asked
What
if
first
any
bit?
of us were ill, Farewell.
No. Honorific thing.
You are a father of the Raven Queen. He's
No,
only
I'm
ever been
just.
referred to as brother in the past, by the way.
I'm just a cleric. I'm just.
Father, eh? Yeah, can we call you Daddy Farewell now?
Oh, God.
Oh no.
please, I love you to pieces, Krim, but please don't do that. Oh God. Yeah.
Father?
Your my other practitioners call me Daddy. Yeah. And you'll probably notice throughout of all of this, Farewell's turned a rather unique colour, because he doesn't quite blush the same way as you do, but there's definitely those red hues going
It's
through.
like purple.
Yeah, going through his sort of arguably whatever colour of green skin that he has.
Teal.
It's not
Teal.
teal.
It is!
It's not teal.
You can't see it!
It doesn't
It's
exist.
teal.
Teal doesn't
It's
exist.
it's my character, and I say what colour his skin is.
You can't
Doesn't
see
mean you're
it.
right.
Oh. So yes, he's green, not teal.
Uh-huh.
Even though he
Uh-huh.
looks-
It's
Yeah.
not easy being teal. Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Showing my
thank you all for standing there for the last 2 minutes whilst he makes a complete tit of himself. By the way,
We're used to
you're
it.
such good friends.
Well, we were trying to figure out. To be honest,
Going forward.
I was trying to figure out if it was Nick having a problem or Farewell.
No, that was definitely Farewell.
Yeah.
You bastards.
So you're promoted now, Farewell.
The paladin
Since-
looks incredibly awkward. You have a feeling that they were probably took their vigil within the last year or two, and so they're not sure whether they've done a major faux pas or something.
Oh,
And they're
dear.
just like okay, and kind of walks back to their guard post.
There, Farewell. You... Perhaps more words next time, less stuttering, but a good try.
Let's go speak to Dusk, and maybe she can explain both about our resident quivering box and also your promotion.
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought you were improving, but clearly not.
Farewell just has this 1,000-yard stare. And he's not moving. He's just stood there. He's just looking.
And Cliff will go, grab his wrist and, drag him inside.
Yeah, he's led. He's most assuredly led in.
Yeah.
So you walk inside, and you can hear that there's a beautiful mellifluous sound, light, ethereal, coming from a chorus of singers who are singing really quite quietly, but the beautiful acoustics of the temple carry this low and solemn sound to every corner of the interior. And you can see that in what Farewell will know as a prayer of remembrance is taking place. You know that this isn't anything new, anything particular. The prayer of remembrance is said 3 times a day, but it never ceases to look beautiful, and never ceases to really pull at the heartstrings as people come daily, if not more than once a day, to remember those that they've lost. And there are some lay worshippers as well that turn up there and try to listen to the prayer of remembrance for the people who aren't remembered by anybody, people who aren't being missed by anybody. Right? And a priestess walks forward and says, "Hello, can I help you at all?" And she's kind of mostly looking at. Actually, no, she's looking at all of you. She's not looking at Farewell in particular. Farewell, you've never met this priestess before.
We're looking for Dusk Elmhart. Is she in?
Of course. She is, finally getting around to her paperwork, but I'm sure she'll make the exception for such honoured guests. Please, come this way.
Thank you very much.
You walk through the temple and past the alcoves that flank either side of the main congregation. These alcoves have got small pictures or tokens, sometimes just pieces of paper with the name of a loved one written on them. And you can see that there are people there in silence, remembering those people, and again filling themselves with the solemnity of the moment. There's a door at the far end that opens up. You get led up a bunch of stairs, and on the second floor of one of the wings that are adjacent to this huge, beautiful hall that make up the centre vestibule of the church, you get put in front of a very familiar office door, Farewell, and you can hear from inside.
Trying not to look like I'm in front of the headmaster's office.
Yep. Miss. And there's a kind of the priestess starts to clear her throat, and you can hear Dusk inside saying, "Come in, come in. I know you're up there."
We go in.
Okay.
Dragging Farewell.
Yeah. Who is still pretty catatonic.
You open up to
really, Farewell, you brain dead last session, you're going to be brain dead today, this session as well.
You leave my poor boy alone. This is very traumatic.
Yes, being called
Being
father
promoted.
is traumatic.
After the incredibly divine setting that you've walked through so far, you open a door into what could be an office in the city hall or any of the businesses within the city. And they're surrounded by very neatly and carefully organized piles of paperwork in trays is Dusk. And as you as she comes into view from around the door, you can see that she is wringing her wrists, or one wrist in particular, her writing hand, and you can see that the quill, actually no, it's a fountain pen, it's a dip fountain pen at her desk has just been set down, and you can see that there's ink on her fingers, even darker than her dove grey skin. She looks up to you and gives you this charismatic smile that only a tiefling, even a very tired tiefling, can produce, and says, "My friends, please, sit down. And yeah,
Farewell stands. He's just still
I
stood
kind of
there.
put my arm on his shoulder and make him sit down.
To excuse Farewell, he got shocked.
I think he
nothing serious.
just heard from the guard outside that he's been promoted to father, and he's gone a bit farewell-y.
She kind of smiles at the farewell-y as an adjective, and she says, "Well, it's not so much a promotion; it's an acknowledgement. We don't really have promotions or career aspirations here within the order. The Raven Queen insists on it that way. We are all fated to do what we need to do in her service. Some people, it's being a knight or being a lay member, or we all have our place. And once it's acknowledged that somebody has achieved a certain level of service to her, we simply acknowledge them. There's no major pomp or circumstance. We just start to acknowledge it. And more people have been calling Farewell Barebone's father than brother recently in reference. So certainly in some of the communiques that I've had. We also received a message from one of our augurs. These are kind of augurs and oracles are seers, divine seers. And she said that she saw you take down a great and powerful undead. And
oh yeah, that's why we're here.
yes, they did say that they would that you would be coming here, but not exactly when. So yes, it's generally acknowledged that Brother Farewell is now Father Farewell. Just heard respect. Consider it that way.
Very
Farewell, are you awake now? Wave my hand in front of him, poke him.
I've always been awake. I wasn't asleep. I was thinking, and it took a little bit. I would very much like everybody to stop referring to me as father. If you remember when I came, I was really clear about the no responsibility thing. I quite liked the fact that everybody just left me alone and I could do what I needed to do, and I was only involved when I needed to be involved. And this is a little level more responsibility than yeah.
I don't think it's a responsibility thing, Farewell. I think it's a power thing and how much you're doing for them.
It's nothing.
No.
Power,
You see, father has connotations, and everybody now will ask me things.
I'm afraid that they'll do that regardless of what they call you.
Yeah,
But
I
no,
don't think you can avoid this.
No,
Sorry.
I think it's a
it
thing.
is a mark of respect. It's not something that. It's not a position that you can quit, I'm afraid. And come, you've been my brother in arms for so many years, and you say that you don't want responsibility, and there you are, taking out greater undead than any paladin in this temple has seen.
No. To be strictly true, and he points at the three of them. They did the killing. I just made sure that they could stand up long enough to do it. That's all I did. I did not slay anything. I did not do anything like that. Oh,
I mean,
boy,
Farewell,
oh,
wasn't
boy.
it your connection to the Raven Queen that made me land that really, really powerful attack?
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
You are doing
Anyway.
much more than you give yourself credit for, Farewell.
To save him from his
Either way,
own
we
self,
need help
I'm gonna
with this.
yeah. We'll start pulling reach. Is it still in the bag? Start reaching into the
Yeah,
bag.
the bag of holding for the carpet.
I was about to say, aren't I carrying the carpet bag of
You
holes?
you
because
are.
I'm the only
I'm.
one that can carry
Yeah,
the
yeah,
bag.
but I'm just gonna start tugging at it to try and give you an excuse to stop, like, standing there, like, embarrassed, and to have a task to do, which is to take the bag off and pull out the thing and distract them with some other task.
Distract with shiny.
Distract with undead.
Yeah. Here, look, we brought danger
I-
to your temple.
I proceed to unload everything.
Sure. The creature starts rattling in the box, and she says, "No, you didn't do anything, Farewell. You just kept away quite possibly one of the most powerful undead assassins I've seen in years. Come, take this down to the catacombs. You seem to be tripping over your tongue. Let's let your hands do the work, Farewell. Pick it up. Follow me." And she leads you down into the catacombs, and you recognize one of the chambers that can be used for laying out the dead and various other bits. Last time you were here, you were talking to a lich. And, yeah. And
I forgot about that.
there's two paladins step forward, and she goes, "We won't need you. The father and I are fine." And she dismisses them, opens up the door, and gestures you in.
That wasn't funny.
It wasn't meant to be. You put down the box in the middle of the floor, and she says, "Well, let's see what we have, shall we?" She holds up her hand and goes, "Avaunt!" And as she does so, you can feel this burst of energy. Only Farewell. You feel this burst of energy as her version of Turn Undead happens. The crate bounds across the floor, smashing as it does so, and smashes finally into the wall. The bones of the being once known as Silk Whisper suddenly recombine and pull out a pair of nasty-looking blades, the big burning red eyes. And as she forms, as quickly as she forms, she slams herself against the wall as if a giant torrent of force is pressed against her. And as Dusk just gently starts walking towards, you can see that the bones are being pressed against the wall with such ferocity that you can hear the skull cracking. Not quite there yet, Farewell.
Yeah,
But you kept
she
her
wants
away
to.
from her target.
She
And
wants
she
to
walks
eat
up.
me.
Yes, she would do. This is an Angatra.
Her name is Silk Whisper.
Good.
Are you able to take the curse off?
We can send her back to the Cascade. First of all, and she lets go, and the being falls on the floor. What you now know as an Angatra falls to the floor. It gets up, bears both blades, and just a single word from Dusk: "Kneel." And it goes straight onto the floor, bowing on one knee, as if in front of a liege lord, placing both of the knives at its on the floor either side of it, disarming in the same way that a tabaxi would, very specifically. Eclipse, you notice this. When a tabaxi bows, they put their weapons on the floor. And she seems to be held there and held under Dusk's will. Farewell.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to talk to the spirit. It's currently twisted, tortured, full of curse and dishonor. And I want you to dismiss it. Take it back through the mortal gate. Let it know the cascade once more. Let the cascade rush over it and take it to the astral sea.
Can we talk to her?
No. I don't think you'll get anything out of her in this state. Maybe once she is free, we could perhaps perform some form of seance.
Okay.
We have the bones, so in her current state, all she knows is pain and hatred and anguish.
Okay, so set her free first, and then we may speak to her.
If the spirit is willing, yes. We are waiting, Mr. Barebones.
Go on, Father.
You can do this.
I'm not.
Talk to her, Silk Whisper, like anyone who is anguished, anyone who is tortured. Make a part of her want to be there.
I don't really do the talking thing. Remember that we discussed this the last time. You remember when I did mass once? And
I kick him slightly lightly in the back of the shin.
Ow! Fine.
Yes. You're never doing mass again. I'm asking you to speak at one person.
I'd rather fight it. Fine.
It's known enough of death and of conflict.
Farewell walks over to Silk Whisper, wasn't it?
That's right.
Yeah. Sorry, well, that would be very farewell if you got her name wrong. That would just be absolutely classic. Says the wonderful things. It just says it like calls her Janice or something all the way through it.
Swift feather.
Yeah. He will kneel down in front of her and put his shield to one side and realizes that he kind of has to adjust slightly because he's actually still got that long sword like on his hip, and it sort of like jabs in the floor, and he sort of like has to wrestle with it a little moment because it's just like, right, okay, right, just talk to her, talk to her.
You can just see these burning, deep red coals, cherry red coals for eyes.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I just don't mean the indignity of what we did to you. I mean the indignity of all of this. You were proud one, right? The good kind of proud. A noble warrior. A guardian, from what Eclipse tells us. You must have taken your duty so seriously to even now in this time continue to fight so hard, so intently to stay here, but your job is done. Your duty has ended. It is time for you to let go. We will pick up anything that you feel still needs to be done. But you have earned your rest. So, Swift Whisper. Thank you. Silk Whisper, sorry, thank you.
I did get it wrong, that's amazing.
I know. And the thing is that Dust already would have gone Silk Whisper and he went, Silk Whisper. Please, take your well-deserved rest. Please.
You do notice there's a couple of things that she does react to. When you say, we will sort out what is left to be done, she twitches and kind of looks in your direction. She's mostly kind of glaring at Eclipse. But then when you say that, she kind of twitches in your direction for a second and looks back. And you can see that she's kind of slumping slightly, whereas previously she was coiled in this kind of attack position. And you can hear this kind of death rattle amongst the hissing that's all that she's been able to do so far, and you can hear her say, disgrace.
I assume I'm the one who understands it because it's in cat language.
No.
Yeah, and I haven't cast comprehend languages, or is it in common?
It's in common.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Some
Tell
undead
me.
just learn common weirdly.
Tell me, show me what you need. What will help take away your...
Corinne, where's the canopic jar right now?
In my bag of holding, so she can't detect it.
She looks at the bag of holding and goes, disgrace. She.
Disgrace she, was that?
Your passive perception automatically passes, so she said disgrace and then shame.
We've put him to
Eclipse?
rest. Yeah.
The jars, the canopic jars, are they the bodies of the guardians or...
No, they are.
What's in them?
What is in them, sir? Jordan. Yes, they're parts. We're trying to find the heart of Jordan. To take it back to where it belongs, to the museum.
Overrides Dusk's commands for a second, picks up her knives, and throws them with ridiculous initiative. Like we're talking, like, you know, she's got something like a +9 initiative. Picks them up and throws them directly at Eclipse, and they hit very, very neatly a crack between two of the paving slabs that make up the floor, and both of the blades go in a row, and she goes, Satan. Stay.
What?
Again, unfortunately, Farewell's right next to her, so he automatically passes. He did say he knelt down right next to her.
Yep.
Juradan, destroy.
You want us to destroy Juradan because of what he became?
Is he still alive?
Rest.
Maybe
We'll put him to rest.
Maybe by having all these jars, he still lingers like they do. All these spirits that we've seen so far.
She knows common, but she struggles with it.
How?
Especially considering she has no cheeks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right.
I will speak to her in cat language and see if that makes it easier for her to speak.
Okay, you ask her what in Tabaxi?
Yeah.
What are you asking her in Tabaxi?
Oh, I just tell her she can speak Tabaxi if that is easier.
She says rest Juradan in Tabaxi, but with the same problems that she has with common, because, you know, you can see through her jaw. Her, you know, she's literally a cat skull with a few patches of mummified skin still attached. Yeah, she's struggling speaking, and, you know, bear in mind, she's not exhaling breath when she's doing this. She's somehow resonating with the sound. So yeah, she says rest Juradan.
I tell her in Tabaxi I will put Juradan to rest.
I'm not sure what you're saying, but I would just remind you to be very careful about what agreement you make. Gaiuses, as we know from experiences, are very powerful things. And I wouldn't want to have
I said we're going to put Juradan to rest.
No, that's okay, just as long as you don't make any oaths or do any, you know, swears. Just anyway, carry on.
The Angatra, Silk Whisper, suddenly relaxes on both knees and just turns to you, Farewell, and looks at you.
I reach forward with both hands and I place one either side of her head. And I gently put my forehead to hers. And you just rest. Rest now.
There's a sudden kind of an exhalation. Obviously not from her, but just kind of around her, like her aura. Sudden rushing of wind. And Farewell, suddenly what you can hear is like this raging torrent, like standing under a waterfall. It's momentarily, like a second, of this sudden raging torrent going past you. And the rest of you, because Farewell's currently forehead to forehead with the being, you watch as the rest of the body just collapses to the floor into a pile of bones. And now Farewell is just holding the skull. And you notice that the light just dies in the eye.
Well done, Father Farewell.
Yeah. I'm never going to hear the end of that, aren't I? That's going to be like
No.
Nope.
that's like my next 3 months, isn't it?
Yeah.
I pick up the swords or knives and have a look at them.
Yep, they appear to be a pair of short swords. So when you look at them, they are elegant, ancient tabaxi short swords. So kind of have this kind of Moroccan blade to it. Nice kind of curve to it on each of them. And as you pick them up, you immediately feel a benefit. This is a tabaxi weapon. It attunes to tabaxis for free. So it doesn't take up an attunement slot as long as you have tabaxi. And these are twin blades of kinesis. Whilst wielding both of these blades at the same time, you must have one in each hand. You can cast the jump spell at will, and you gain an extra 10 foot of movement.
Because that's what she needs. More speed.
Yep.
She can already turn into a bat.
And
I run,
yes,
I fly, I hide.
and yes, Corinne, this also adds 10 foot to your natural climbing speed.
Ooh.
Oh
Nice.
dear.
When wielded in your hands, they are as good as your claws for climbing.
Nice. I will take them and ask for the item description at a later time because you probably don't want me in it right now.
Yeah, and it's easy enough to remember. Plus 10 speed to any of your speed. And obviously, when you're a bat, you're not wielding the knives. Plus 10 speed to any of your speed and cast the jump spell at will.
Are they considered magical weapons, yeah?
They are magical weapons, yeah. They're not +1 magical weapons, but they are magical weapons, so they deal magical damage. Yeah. So for purpose of resistance.
So I have a skull in my hand, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the first time. I mean, you're a grave cleric, and
No, it's not weird. I mean, alas, poor Horatio. I knew him well. Yes.
What should we do with the body? Is there a place you want to take her, Eclipse, or send her? Should she go home? If you know what I mean.
Giving her a final resting place here is good as any. I don't think she wants to be back at the island. It seemed a bit of a curse for her.
Oh no, I didn't mean the island. I meant your home.
Was she not
we
from
could-
the same temple as you, or
Yeah,
how it is?
we could possibly send her remains back to Ostran and to the temple there because she was a part of that temple ages ago. And do they have a place for honored warriors and stuff there, Simon?
Yes. So the Grand Temple of Naruka is not only kind of the greatest museum and location of antiquities in the whole of Illyria, but it's also got a lot of tabaxi history and a former warrior who was kept for a while as an Angatra and is known to be an assassin and member of the Hearthguard for Juradan the Great, is going to be an exhibit. You could bet
I
your
was gonna say she's actually like an ancient archaeological find.
Oh yeah. She was up until now an animated piece of archaeology, and you have a feeling that they will bury her. Well, not bury her with honors, but they will probably put her in some sort of sarcophagus or something like that with full honors.
So
I just have an idea.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. No, carry on. Sorry.
No, I said if we want to go with that, Eclipse would want to go with that, and she will find. I assume because this is a port, there will be ships. I don't know if there's a specific Austrian ship, but or there's Austrian ships, but if there's a specific tabaxi ship, but will she find one with
Sweetheart, we
relatively...
live right next to a university. We can just take the nearest teleportation circle to your city, and you can turn her over yourself and get the recognition.
I mean...
That's a very
I'm
not prepared for this.
This is important.
DM was not prepared for Naruka.
I mean, yes, we can go visit the museum. It would be very exciting. Yes, let's do that.
Don't mind me. I'm just riffing this.
I mean, we can cover that off definitely, but there is one thing I'd like to do because I've got this kind of new spell that I've been itching to try on something worthwhile, and but I need 250 gold's worth of incense, and that's not something I really have at the moment.
Dusk looks at you as if you're insane and kind of gestures around her. Every breeze that's gone past has had some incense in it. It's kind of like I buy it by the barrel. What do you want?
We are back home now. We can definitely get you incense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he goes, well, this spell, and this is the thing I like about you. Yeah. Anyway, if I name or describe a person or place or object, this spell brings to my mind a brief summary of the significant lore about the thing that I name, including secret lore.
Legend lore.
No. If the thing you've named isn't of legendary importance, you gain no information. The more information you already have about the thing, the more precise and detailed the information you receive is. And fortunately for me, I like to listen, and Eclipse likes to talk about Juradan, so I know an awful lot about Juradan. And so, if it could help, and there's a chance we could learn something secret about him, I could spend the next 11 minutes with 250 gold's worth of incense and see what else I can find. Maybe find some lore about the fall of Juradan. I mean, that's the one thing we don't really know anything about. We know how the man came to power, we know how he lived in power, and we know that he disappeared or died under strange circumstance, but we don't know anything about the fall. We don't know anything about the fact that he changed, and maybe we will learn something, or I will learn something that I will then share with you.
That would be very useful. Thank you, Farewell. If we can find any more information about him and the fall, and I think that would be very good in combination if we do that, and then also, as Glory said, take ourselves over to Ostran, to the temple, and we can also visit my parents.
Yes, I've introduced you to my family. It's about time I meet yours.
The panic on Simon's face.
Of all the places you could have gone, you went to the one place I didn't prepare. Fucking D&D groups.
Teleportation. Eclipse, do we know what's in this jar and the jar we found in the other place? How do we know we don't even have the heart already?
What is in the jar, Simon, by the way? I think we asked, but like...
They're
Can't hear
jars.
you.
You have
You mean
mute.
the canopic jar?
Yes.
I
Yeah,
do
so
believe so.
the canopic jar, you know that canopic jars typically have a remains of somebody, usually organs. So this is directly from real life lore. Canopic
Yeah.
jars used to have significant organs from the body.
Lungs, heart, I think.
Brain.
Yeah,
Brain,
brain,
liver, yeah, there's a couple of
liver
things,
in some cases.
yeah.
What are the organs in the 2 jars I have?
You don't know.
You don't know. And also, if you looked in there, chances of you identifying them are slim to none.
Oh, okay.
So how do we know we
Yeah,
don't
maybe-
have the heart already? Should
See,
you take
I
these
think
back
the
to
heart
the...
is- Well, if I'm honest, Cora, I think the heart's more of a not an actual heart.
Yes.
It's more of a like a powerful
Metaphor.
item or jewel or or a metaphor for something. You know, it's the heart of Juradan, and it's this, you know, the kind of thing that, you know, that Glory kind of likes to get her hands on, because, you know, she can look at somebody and they start melting, that sort of thing.
Right.
Yes.
The way...
You should see some of the stuff my mother has complied throughout the years. Many wizards' greatest works. We have them in the cellar.
See,
Great.
that creepy.
Yeah. Okay. My the point be okay. The Silk Whisper looked at you and was, I mean, I couldn't quite understand, but I think I wondered if she was trying to imply that you should actually be destroying these jars. I have a horrible feeling that once we find all the different jars, we bring him back or something.
They'll combine together and create the super jar.
Well, why is he
Or
scattered
resurrect
across
the
the
great
world?
evil.
I mean, he's scattered
Well,
for a reason.
These jars are not him, Cora. They are parts of a different... They are keys to get into the actual place where his final resting place is.
In
Simon.
what way? Sorry, yeah, go for it.
No. Carry on. I need to find it. You carry on.
I do believe that the jars are from the generals we have been disposing of. So this one would be the one trapped in the big one.
Yeah, so this one is enemy and is
Pride?
Yes.
pride. Yes, pride.
So these are the generals, these aren't Jordan at all. Okay.
No.
Now that you've said it, yes. So you don't know which part of each general is in each of these, but the generals themselves, they are the ones in the canopic jars, or part of them is in the canopic jars. And you're quite right. You have pride and envy. So as DM, I'm confirming what you've said so far.
Okay. Well, okay. Well, that's different. Well, if we're going to go back to your museum, do you want to take these there?
I mean, yes, and I've also I might ask Garrett if he wants to come as well. And Jacob.
Oh, that would be a lovely trip for him, I'm sure. I wonder if he's been there before.
Garrett, he's the one that looks after Beeper, right?
Yes.
I mean, well, he doesn't look after. They're. I mean, I think it's the other. Yeah, kind of.
I think he's mentoring him in some way.
Yeah, it's a weird relationship. I can't correctly remember.
Yeah. Either way, they're happy.
Okay.
Okay. Well, do you want to head there next, Eclipse? What time is it, Simon?
If we can.
The time in Ostergold at the moment is around about 11 a.m.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, we could go today. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's head over to Garrett
You made
then.
landfall.
Tell
you made
him the
landfall
great
a few hours
news.
after dawn. So yeah.
Yeah. We'll head over to Garrett then and ask him if he wants to go to Australia.
Yeah.
I will. I'll pull Dusk to one side. I realise that I'm still holding the skull, so I will very carefully just sort of give it over to Eclipse, and I'll be like, look after that. I want to talk to it in a minute. And I I go back over to Dusk and sort of like try and shuffle towards the corner, a bit more out of earshot.
Yes, farewell.
You recall that spirit walker a while back?
Yes.
I'd like to do it again. You'll forgive me, Simon. Her name has just completely gone out of my head, and my notes are out of arm's reach. I can't remember the paladin's name.
Let's see. I've got the NPC generator here. So let's see. Paladin of the Raven Queen.
It was a dragonborn, if I remember correctly.
No, it was a
Goliath.
Goliath. Yeah.
Yeah.
A big one, at least. I knew that much. Yes.
So let's see. Burka is one of Freyna's agents, so it's not her. It was.
Sorry about
I
this.
just love that you just casually mentioned that the Glorious Grandpa is having agents in the city. Not unexpected, but the rest of them don't know.
Well, we already knew that. We already guessed that.
Yeah.
You can
when,
guess
when you
it.
handed them a note, it was a case of we know who. So I've got down here Lagarth Riverheart.
That's the one. Yeah, that sounds right.
As the I don't know if that's true or not, but yeah.
We'll go with that.
I mean, I've got it down as Raven Queen, Paladin, and that's the only one there, so it must be that, or I just pulled a name out of my ass, which I do sometimes, and then don't write it down. Lagarth is a possibility.
Yeah, it's Lagarth around, and can we make some time?
Do you have any reason for that particular night, or?
Well, no, not tonight, because I have a feeling that I'm about to end up on an island full of tabaxi. But
no,
the next time I'm in the city,
that particular night is in KNIGHT. She is a night.
It's been a bit of a morning. Sorry.
No problem. Does it have to be Syrah Riverheart?
No.
I mean, if we can get her, we will. But
I know her and trust her, so
that's enough. I was just asking. Yes, I can quite happily get hold of.
Thank you.
Get hold of her for you.
I'll try and give you some forewarning, but you probably know already when it comes to us that things tend to happen rather quickly, and I just hope that this one doesn't end with another demonic invasion of another city. Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. We will make those arrangements. Until then, I will get hold of some wrappings for the remains of Silk Whisper, and if you need to take her away, then fine. But know that our charnel house would also accept her. She is resting now.
I think, considering that what she is, having the majority of her here and then her skull somewhere, maybe not a terrible idea.
I think Eclipse will want to bring the entire body back. She's not going to want to leave anything.
I believe the Tabaxi Naru would want the whole body. Just know that it's an option. They don't have to be. And she won't rise again. Not now.
Oh, that's good. Fine.
Yeah. So try not to sneeze.
I tell you what, I'm going to take the skull with me for a moment because I want to ask it a few questions. We'll tie up what we need to do, loop back, pick up the rest of the body, and then we'll be probably on our way.
We gotta tell Noki that we have come back from our fairs at sea and we are leaving again. And grab some warmer, cooler clothes, because I think Ostron is much warmer than it is here.
Yes, it's warmer there.
And I am missing my summer clothes, okay? The miniskirts are so in right now.
Right.
Okay.
Are we going? We're going today. Yeah, right. God, It's a
I mean, we
weird
don't
part
need
of
to
me
go
that
today if
no. It's just there's a weird part of me that feels like we should be like, reporting in to the Green Organization, and yet it also feels like the Green Organization doesn't exist anymore, even though it does. Do you know what I mean? Is it just me? It's weird. Like, we know so much that we didn't know before about our boss that
I'm gonna call Renata and just report in and say we're going for a bit of an excursion, and then
Yes. We came back from our
we're here. Bye.
again because we need to return a relic to the Naru tribe in Australia.
Under archaeological fire, I'm gonna go and give it to museum. Bye.
I have a several century-year-old corpse that I want to go put it in a museum. It belongs in a museum. I really hope that Eclipse is wearing her Indiana Jones hat. I worked long and hard at getting you that.
Yes. Yes.
So, Kate, I've managed to quickly grab everything I had on Niruka and send you a graphic.
Well done.
Well, where did?
You guys keep arguing. I'm nearly there.
But if you send it to me on Discord, I can't get it without killing the feed. It doesn't.
Oh right, okay. I'll put it.
We can get it after the break, surely.
Why don't we take our break now? Give Simon like 10 minutes to run around like a blue-arsed fly, and then we can continue on with the stupidity in the city for a little bit, and then teleport to Eclipse's home.
Because all the Green Organization, because the Green Organization is doing things. Whether or not you go and get involved at this point, they're quite happy with giving you some slack because you saved the city. But yes, I did say that if you don't bring some things up yourself, there will be things that we brought to you, and the Green Organization is certainly one of them. I was just giving you a bit of time to do some things yourself and take the initiative before the next bit of plot comes and hits you like a hammer. So,
we're gonna take a quick detour.
Well, quick detour to a place I didn't expect you to go to yet. And we're at the level where you get teleportation now. For any budding DMs out there, or any DMs that haven't run campaigns that get to level 10 and above, I have a feeling there's a reason why most games I've ever been in have only gone from 1 to maybe 7 and then petered out, is that they get incredibly powerful at this point, and you have to have everything ready. They can snap their fingers and suddenly go, oh, screw that, we're going back to this storyline. Yeah, dig out your notes, bitch, get on with it. Which is what I've just
nice, but there are some things that just happen. Like archaeological finds that you put in our way.
Yes. I fully expect that I make a run for my own back.
Simon, do you need my notes on my family members?
Absolutely, give them to me in the break. I've got the Tabaxi name generator. I've managed to make the city whilst you were talking. Based on all the notes, I was like, okay, I know all the districts in Niruka. What I didn't get around to was writing the bloody drawing the bloody city. So I've used the. Actually, I'm going to have to give them credit because it is a really cool fantasy city generator. If you go to Watabow, that's watabow.itch.io, they do a medieval city fantasy city generator. It's what I used to make the city the town that we were in yesterday in the one shot. And I've just made Niruka using it, and it was actually a guide that I used for making Ostergold itself as well. Kept clicking randomize until I got close enough, and then drew up the rest myself. By all means, have a look at that. I'll put it in the show notes as well. It's a great way for DMs to just, pull things out of their arse when the players suddenly do things like this. So
you wait. We'll come back from the break and be like, actually, let's not go there. Let's go here.
Oh, trust me, there is a side adventure waiting. I'm just bidding my time here.
Hey, you draw the map of that city, Misters. I am I am leaving that to you. That's your intellectual property.
Fuck.
It may be part of my world, but that's your IP. You get on with it.
That is true. I need
yeah.
to do that.
Although you do the same as me and use the city generator and then just
Yeah.
kind of get close enough to it and then use that and then you can just kind of sketch over the top of it in a separate layer. You can do it really quickly. It's really cool. You'd be able to do it faster and better than I could, certainly.
Oh,
Right.
Definitely.
Anyway,
Shall we head off to a break for 15
Yes.
minutes,
let's
and
do
we
that.
will see everyone
And,
in a
yeah,
minute.
we'll
See you
in 15
soon.
minutes.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
And welcome back, everybody. When we left off before the break, my bloody players decided, after I dropped them back off in the middle of Ostergold, to take the corpse of Silkwhisper and Angatra, an ancient being, an ancient tabaxi. They decided, after releasing her from her undead state, to take her remains back to the Grand Temple of Naruka, the great tabaxi city, the only tabaxi city in Illyria. The rest of the tabaxi tribes are quite xenophobic. They like to hide away. But not the Naru, not Eclipse of the Moon's people. They have a large city in the country of Ostran, large island nation that's around about a week and a half to 2 weeks sail away from their current location. They were going to put the bones on a ship, but Glory came up with, well, hang on, we live in a city with a large arcane university, we can just teleport there. So, manically over the last 15 minutes during the break, I've managed to put together all of my notes from Naruka, and we are ready to go take it. But first, before we go, is there anything you would like to do within the city before you depart? Because it's going to take a while for you to get a slot with the university to teleport. So if you want to check in with anybody.
Eclipse, you wanted to go check in with a few people.
Yeah.
I wanted to go. Yeah, I wanted to go to speak to Garrett quickly.
Cora, did you want to check in with anybody?
Nothing urgent. No.
Not even that. You know, the mine thing.
The what? The what?
Oh, I didn't tell you about that. Never mind.
Okay, now I want to know something.
Yeah, you didn't.
No, you did.
No.
Kate can't remember, so I'm totally like.
So don't be mad.
That's a good start.
But I may have talked to Hobra, and I may have asked for her help to talk about you know who.
Right. What? How is she?
Because she's the eyes and ears of the city, and I thought if we could find anything that would be useful for what we were trying to do, she would be the right person.
I suppose. I mean, yeah, you.
Thought I had spoken to you about this already, and we had had a big long conversation about it, but then realised that no.
You did that in your head.
No, we had. Yeah, that all took place in my head.
Yeah, I know the feeling that sort of thing happens. Sorry we didn't include you in the book discussions, but we'd kind of talked about it before, and you were like just staring off at the ocean a lot, and I just thought, you know, I hadn't.
What book discussions?
On the ship on the way back, you were very distracted, and so me and the girls, we just
you were like looking at the waves.
Yeah.
And like being really hypnotized by the
and
waves.
I didn't want to disturb that. You were sort of meditating almost, and so I went through what we'd already talked mostly about with the girls, and we figured out a few things actually about the books, and Glory now has that book that really helped me. I think it's going to take some time to reset though. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, it's good in a way. We're not relying on each other completely all the time. Maybe. Anyways, I mean, I am curious. I was actually thinking one of the things I nearly did on the ship, but I thought no. I'm kind of tempted to scry on Ola? I mean, I've not tried that yet. And I don't know. I'm sure it would go wrong. It would be bad.
I'm gonna call Renata to tell her what we're doing. So, and also about the island, and if she can help us set it up.
Oh, and as
no, that's not about the island.
Is she?
We're not gonna talk about that.
do you do that?
Does Glory want to talk to her about the island?
No, we were gonna try and keep it a secret, weren't we? But then,
no, because it's not gonna be kept a secret anyway. Because we used a trading port, so that would that.
Yeah, but whether we own it or not is another. If she knows that we're.
Keeping a secret is not really. So, she's gonna know anyway. Like we can't really keep a secret from her.
DM reminder: Carlos is going to pretend to be the owner of your trading port, and you are the kind of investors. You're the board members behind him.
Yeah.
So unless.
But we can't keep a secret from Renata anyway. So.
Says who?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to make that assumption, sure. Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, the message things are a mind thing, right? So we wouldn't know she's doing this anyway. She doesn't say it out loud, right? Is that right, Simon? Yeah. Okay.
But we did talk about it and said that we wouldn't.
No,
yeah, but this is a clip, so.
I thought we said we were going to tell her because there was no point in keeping it secret because she would already know.
No, that was what you said, not what we said.
It doesn't matter.
You, Eclipse, if we had a choice, I would. For the moment, for me, the less we have with the greens, the better. There are still issues there. So, if you wouldn't mind not mentioning it to her for the moment, and then we can decide later whether or not we want to tell her, that would be my preference.
She's gonna know anyway, so I don't.
Is what you're saying. So let's not tell her. Let's assume she knows, and that she's smart enough that if she knows, then she doesn't need us telling her, and then we can all carry on. And if she doesn't know, she doesn't know.
Okay. So, where would you like to go, and what would you like to do?
You wanted to scry, Cora?
Well, I mean, now that you've mentioned it, I was wondering. This is a thing that I've not. That I've meant to deal with and have not. I put it off and pretend it's not a problem, and then it raises its head every so often. And I finally, I finally talked to Enola and found out that she kind of gave me a vision, of what happened, like a reminder of that day. And because I was starting to wonder whether it was all an elaborate hoax just to take Enola away with the Summer King, but it wasn't. It was Ola, and there is something else going on, and I've put it off for too long. And yeah, I feel like at some point I need to address it.
A little figure on your shoulder adjusts herself and says, "We're more powerful now, Cole. We could expose her or just generally, well, ruin her. Make sure she's not in a position to harm anybody ever again."
It would definitely be good to know what really is happening, and if there's more to it than just a little bit of corruption and money making. As we've discovered with Renata, things are often a lot bigger than they seem. I don't know, maybe when we go and see Garrett, or if we go and get lunch, I will I will try scrying and see if I don't know what I expect to even see, but maybe it'll bring up something.
No, that's fair.
What will you? I mean, we could also go and talk to Hobra, as well.
It's some options for you. I also need to. Yeah. I mean, yeah, we could go talk to him. That would help. Scry first, and then see if we need to.
Okay. Well,
Like, you are very strong.
We all are, even if you don't want to admit that you are. Should we go and get some lunch, guys? And should we go? We haven't been back to the Hawk and Harness for ages. Let's go there.
Yes, we need to
I'll
tell
do a thing.
Noki that we are alive, we're safe, nothing happened, and we are heading out to return an ancient remnants to its rightful people in the Eclipse's home. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. Get some food. I'll go up to my room, do the thing.
While they're talking about all this, I will give Renat a quick report about that we've gone to the thing, we killed all the things, we got the canopic jar, we are now back, but we're going to take the now dead archaeological find back to Ostran to the temple as an archaeological find.
Sure. So you message her, and a few seconds later you get, "Welcome back to the city." Understandably, after the recent, even though it was a moon ago now, the recent attack on the city, we've been furiously researching who this being is and what we can do against it. I'm glad to have you back in the city, and if you're leaving soon, depending on how long you're leaving for, either come to us before, or if it's only a quick journey, then hurry back and we will see you then. We have efforts that we're going to need specialists for, yourself in particular. I gave you some distance, some time to recover. Well deserved, I would say, as well. But I am going to need your... Well, I was about to say your help, but as your employer, I need you as a resource. Let's say that. And it's time you earned your pay. Go and do the errands that you need to, and then report back as soon as possible. We have a few bits of leverage now that we can start to action, which means we're going to need field agent, and that means you. See you soon.
Will do. It's just a quick thing. We'll see you when we get back.
Travel
6 months later.
Hey, we're back and we're level 18, bitches. Let us at 'em. So,
Glory.
Hmm?
By the way, you wouldn't happen to have a diamond that's worth approximately 500 gold, would you?
Any particular color of it?
No, I don't think color or cut is important for the spell, just its worth.
I think I have one, but you'll have to buy me a new bracelet.
I can work on that. I mean, the trade-off is if you do die, I can bring you back to life, if that helps.
I suppose. And she will rummage around in her bag of holding, pulling out a few different diamond, like jewelry with diamonds on it, and then putting them back before she finds the one.
yeah. This is a smoke diamond. It's got, it's beautiful. It was really kind of a beautiful wisp of carbon going through the diamond. And it's a diamond, and it's worth about 700. So yeah. And you've just blown a use of your background, by the way.
Should we actually? I mean, hopefully nothing is going to randomly happen. But actually, is there things we need because we have some money if we need to go and buy stuff? You know, we picked up, and we have that old game that we either want to keep for fun or sell. And we picked up some weapons, didn't we? There's various things.
Keep that game for a little bit. I know where we can sell that off soon.
What game?
The game I pulled from the castle, the little fort had that cool antique game. I stuffed it in a bag. You probably didn't notice. You were dealing with a cat in a box, but there's a cool game and some weapons and things that we picked up. We've got the cannons. I don't know whether that's worth keeping. We might want to ship them back to the island at some point. I'm not really sure. Maybe taking them was silly. I don't know. But yeah, we still have various things, and I'm trying to remember what we have. I've got a thing saying looted, and I think that's old stuff. I don't know how much money we really have. No one's keeping count.
According to my character sheet, I only have 101 gold. So.
Yeah, that's pure gold, though. We have a lot more in items.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm wondering. That I can't even. Where's gold? Where is the gold listed? I can't even see it anymore.
Stuff. Oh well.
Nope.
It'll be fine.
Anyway, but equipment. Oh, it's under equipment. Yeah, see, I only have 171 listed, but I've got written down looted 63 EP, 1130 gold pieces, 24 platinum pieces, 535 silver pieces, and 2,560 copper pieces. I can't remember what that's from. Is that?
Oh, who knows?
From back in the day. But yeah, I mean, we got money. We should be able to buy a few things at least.
There's. I've got some notes here of what you could have got during the the first architects thing. So, I don't know how much of this that you have.
Oh, we got a lot.
I mean,
you were very effective in your rage looting.
Yes. Yeah, like I've got a whole bunch of stuff highlighted in green on my Google Doc, but that's 1,130 gold pieces of stuff, 24 platinums of stuff, and then ingots of metal, thin oil color, 20 ingots of mithril. But we went through stuff, but we went through, and I think some of that was used to make armor and stuff. So I don't know whether I haven't updated this or.
Didn't I?
So you're out of mithril.
I need to update that.
The one thing you're out of is mithril.
Right. Well, I'll put a line through that. That's fine. I need to go through and update stuff. But anyway, anyways, if there's stuff that we need, if you need diamonds, maybe we can look for some.
I've got two diamonds worth 300 gold. I now have a diamond worth enough for my big spell. I was going to go buy some reagents anyway. I mean, luckily, my divine focus takes a lot of the gold cost out of what I do.
You wanted incense. Should we get some?
Again, gestures around the entire room.
We're back in the. Are we back in the tavern? Where are we now?
We're still in the temple.
Have we not walked and talked? Let's walk and talk.
I'm going to say, because you mentioned it on the way out, you get given 250 gold's worth of incense. They won't give it to you every day, but you seemed pretty genuine on something that you needed to look into. So Duska's granted you the 200.
I've just got a giant bushel of incense.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Put it this way: you had to get Gloria back with the cart.
And we got bags of holding with you stuffing them there.
That's true.
Yes, that too.
Right. Are we done here? Shall we wander back to the Hawk and Hannes then?
Yes.
Okay. Walk and talk.
You walk back through the city, and I'll say most of this conversation was that you just had was you walking through the city. You get into the Hawk and Harness And Noki looks up from pouring a drink and goes, "Ah, the owners of this fine establishment, please come here. I will pour you all a drink. Here you go, gentlemen. These are on the house." And he starts setting up your regular drinks and says, "To a safe return of good friends." Pours himself a little kind of sherry-like
Frost.
And takes a sip and says, "Your continued success."
Good to see you again, friend.
Oh, it was
Thank you very
very successful.
So I'm to understand. Yes, you came back with the ship. I've heard the gossip already, and yes, you came in good style, and apparently you've made yourself some new friends, huh? Good. And so you're going to stick around a while, so I can do my job.
Well,
I am supposed to be your house manager,
Yes.
I mean, you are managing the house.
We will be leaving for the afternoon as we need to deliver some historical artifacts to Eclipse's museum.
I take out the skull and I put it on our table, and I've just started unloading like bushels of incense onto the table.
Oh god, you didn't doing it right in the middle of the tavern?
Right in the pub, yeah.
You gonna do
And,
that
he
here,
goes,
Farewell? Right here. We're gonna eat food
Thing.
in a second.
I don't get what the problem is.
Okay.
realize
Noki, can we
everything
get
is
some
going to
lunch?
Yes, I've got some chicken in a creamy sauce. It's lovely. I'll do a bowl for you all. For each of them.
Great.
And so he kind of speaks to Maggie, the dwarf that's the regular chef here in the Hawk and Harness, and he says, "Yes, 4 bowls for our patrons who are home." And Maggie pokes her head on the door and says, "Oh, hello, dears. Yes, I'll be right with you. No problem at all." Little chef's hats and everything. And yeah, as you're unloading these, the skull and all the rest of it, Maggie comes up with a tray and serving you herself. Puts it down and she goes, "You'll wash your hands before you eat this food, Mister Barebones." And puts the bowl in front of you, and then kind of toddles off. Comes back a few minutes later with a little kind of finger bowl to wash your hands, as if that's going to do anything for a mummified head.
And a water genasi.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, thank you for the drink."
Oh.
She rolls her eyes and walks off. So yeah, Noki goes, "It's fascinating. That a wildcat or no, it can't be." And he looks at Eclipse, looks at the skull, and goes, "A tabaxi."
Yes, it's an ancient tabaxi. She is very interesting. So we're gonna bring her back. She is thousands of years old. So we're gonna bring her back. She's before the New Order, way before the New Order.
I mean, we're not bringing
So
her
we're
back
gonna bring her back.
just gonna talk to her, just so you don't freak out.
Yeah, no. I mean, bringing her back to Ostran, bringing back to the Naruland.
Okay, we've just dealt with an undead. We don't need another.
He says, "Oh, please don't forget to tell your tale of how you found this. To the bard, we have and the bards kind of come and go in the tavern all the time." And he says, "Please speak to Soriel. And there is a beautiful honey-haired high elf who is there strumming this lyre and says, yes, sir. Yes, Tavern Keep." He says, "These are our patrons. They live here. They are the heroes of the siege of Ostergard. They will have such a good tale to tell you later." And he kind of strums the lyre and sits up straight and says, a very classical bard, and says, "I would be honored to somehow put the tale to music if that's okay."
Shadow.
And he looks at you, Cora, and suddenly you can see the shift, like a glamour. And he mouths to you specifically, "Speak to you later," and strums the lyre once more. No one else sees this, only Cora.
What, even with my like insane passive perception?
What he did was make a personal illusion tailored only to Cora's. It's like an attack. So he effectively did an attack for 0 damage, where Cora sees an illusion, but nobody else does. Yeah.
I'll go and speak to the bard.
Yes. Eclipse will regale the bard, the tale of Jordan and Silk Whisper.
Yes.
Eclipse
and envy.
Don't you want to talk to?
Detail.
Wait, before you.
This is. I don't think I can talk to it. I think this is only legend lore is specifically downloaded information into Farewell's head.
Oh, we're doing. We're not. I thought we might be doing Speak with Dead.
Yeah, like Farrell's got like a mouthful of food and like the skull in one hand, and his book out on the table, and he's sort of like goes,
"Not to be."
Yeah, and he's sort of going. Well, actually, I was going to speak to it. I was wondering if you had any questions.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Did you understand any of that? You spat that all over me.
Sorry.
Eclipse, was it? Says Soriel. I am here all week, and perhaps longer if people do not tire of my singing. Please, be with your friends. I shall be here all day.
Okay, if you say so, Soriel.
And for Cora, a slight shimmer, and he mouths the word "later" to you, and the shimmer disappears. But of course, the rest of you don't see it.
I look at Farewell to see if he noticed, and he doesn't seem to be seeing anything, and I'm like,
Dumb shadows.
You sit down to food and you watch as holding a freshly re-dead corpse part in one hand and eating with his fingers in the other. This kind of Moroccan chicken. I'm remembering a dish that I had a few years ago in Oxford, and this beautiful spiced, creamy sauce, and it's almost like the chicken's confited. It's beautiful. Sorry, I'm salivating at a food memory. Hey, I can use it. I just ate, so I'm cool. You can suffer. So love you. And you can watch as he's there kind of poring over his book and all the rest of it. You finish up your food, and it is it's fantastic summer island fare. It's clearly a recipe that came from Noki, even though it's Maggie cooking it. And after that, you're sat there with a bunch of bowls which have incense in, and Farewell doing his farewell thing. So go for it, dude. What are you doing?
Well, first I'll be like, what would you like me to do first? The law thing, or would you like me to ask the questions first? Eclair.
Sorry, didn't hear what you said. What did you say?
I said, what would you like me to do first? Would you like me to ask the questions or the law?
I can't really think of most of the questions we already asked her when earlier. So I think Legend Lord to start with, and then see if we have anything else to ask her.
Okay. It's clear the old throat out. And I set up the ritual for Legend Lore. Well, it's not really a ritual, but it takes 10 minutes of concentration and casting. But and I go around using and just light all the incense and begin to focus. Primarily, the focus of Farewell's mind and the phrasing of the spell will be more on the fall side of Duridan. and what happened if there was any sort of dark times more than just the normal lore, as Farewell already knows that quite intimately,
Okay.
thanks
You
to
want
his
to know
good
more about
tabaxi
that?
friend.
Okay. Yeah. So the dark times indeed, and you're using Silk Whisper as the focus here as well. That's going to.
And for everybody else, Farewell will just literally repeat what Simon says verbatim as it comes into his brain.
Okay. So as 250 gold pieces worth of incense gets burned in a ritual around a large table in a pub. You notice as all of the barmaids and the bards and everybody who kind of is working there in any capacity opens all of the windows and the doors.
Glory
And
will ask Loki to put up a privacy spell around the table too for safety.
absolutely, well remembered that he can do that. So he walks up and you can hear this kind of ripple around you, and suddenly the rest of the tavern, the sounds are muffled down to near nothing. There's just this slight whoop whoop in the background. Farewell finishes the ritual, and suddenly you are bombarded with a huge amount of images and sensations, and suddenly you're sucked into a scene where you can't do anything. You're just piggybacking somebody. You can see that someone is walking through this beautiful stone halls, and you can hear, and I'm not going to be a dick. You know Tabaxi because she knows Tabaxi. Ancient Tabaxi, no less. And you know that you're you know instinctually that you are riding one of Silk Whisper's memories. You can feel this lithe movements. You can see that there's a silk hood that is over her face. You can kind of see it in your peripheral vision. You can feel two small scabbards at your hip, containing the knives that now they're long knives, they're short swords, long knives, whichever. That now Eclipse of the Moon possesses, and you can hear some. It's a fresh, new building. You know, everything's shiny. There are artifacts that would cost a fortune just on small dice in this hall that you're walking past. Trophies that are just there. Everybody's walking so stiffly and full of belief and pomp. Everybody that you see around you is a mixture of races, predominantly Tabaxi, but you're seeing humans and dwarves, elves. You're seeing no half-orcs because of a thing to do with history. And you are seeing even some Goliath and plenty of tieflings as well. And as you're walking through, you can hear snippets of conversation. No, this is but the tip of the iceberg, my friend. This is the reception palace. The rest of the facility goes deep within the mountain itself. It is very much the heart. This is as far as you can go. Only the closest followers of the great Jordan, the Shining One himself, can go within. It is said that he has found a place of great power to be able to continue his reign. Also, it is the safest vaults that you can find. Hence our dwarven friends who are here. And clearly some sort of architect, and he's Tabaxi, talking to a human noble, very old garb on them, and the Tabaxi has kind of like a mason's chisel at their hip, the type of one that you would get if you had the was it Clan Crafter background. You can see a couple of dwarven ingots on the tabaxi's belt as well. Clearly dwarven trained in terms of the architecture and being an architect and a mason. And you can see that as they're having this discussion, they are overlooking a bunch of sculptors who are currently in the middle of finishing a beautiful embossed relief of this huge war. And you can see that there's a figure proud in the center, this lion-headed warrior, and they've embossed a golden sword, this kind of burning blade that he had, and he's raising it aloft. He's at the head of the army. You walk into a more private section, which seems to be kind of a city hall, and the glimpses that you're getting of the windows outside, that this is some form of ancient. And as you walk into one of these doors, you close it behind you, and there is a leopard-looking figure that you've been guarding. As you close the door, you see your own hand, and you can see that it's a snow leopard. You're kind of a leopard yourself, and Silk Whisper was a snow leopard tabaxi.
Nice to meet me.
Yes, very much like you. Yeah, I wrote Snow Leopard for Silk Whisper before the feline trickster portrait we have up on the wall. I was like, well, okay, there we go. This other leopard though is a regular leopard, and has the kind of sash and garb of an ancient tabaxi diplomat, and he sits down at the desk, and across the desk is this really muscular but angled-faced jaguar tabaxi, and the kind of ambassador. I bring you good greetings from Noruka. The Council of Elders is somewhat concerned, as are all amongst the Denry. They wish to know when he will be finished. We do not wish to attempt a form of world domination. At the moment, people are willing to oversee our current political war. After all, we have been plundered many times by the robber baron cause. But the closer we get to the kings and queens that make up the Meridian Kingdom, the more they are getting nervous. Not to mention the elves in the south. They are starting to talk of national defense. The high elves themselves are becoming quite tempestuous. The jaguar has got a little tufty beard, reaches up and plays with it, and says, there's this deep, throaty growl. My lord will think when he deems it is suitable. The Austran people, Naru, an alliance for so very long. The Council of Elders and the Naru region will be pleased. The ambassador goes, the Den region. Vizier, the Den region. Not only the Naru. Many of us wish to keep ourselves secret. But we must acknowledge that not only Naru. The jaguar grins, huge teeth showing, and says, but the Naru are the only.
You're cutting out a bit.
Yeah, am I the only one?
Yeah, I think you're talking a bit low, and your mic is not picking it up.
I think you need to lower your noise gate because you cut out too much.
Yeah, what I'll do is go on to push to talk actually, because I'm growling as a tabaxi, but it's probably going below the input sensitivity.
Yeah, you need to lower it or something.
Right, can you hear me properly now?
Yeah.
So far, but it's when you do the voices that you go quieter, and therefore it drops out.
Well, I'm now holding my push to talk button, so
So it doesn't have the noise gate? Perfect.
It won't have a noise gate now. The Naru are the only ones that count. And he shows these teeth, and you can see that the leopard ambassador is suddenly kind of sitting upright, almost in a kind of attack position, like he's about to lash out with his claws, and says, "So it is true. The Naru are being poisoned in this land." "Silence!" says the jaguar. "We have found true power here, knowledge that we would have not found if we stayed on our little island. The Naru and their dens will change forever. They shall seek new lands. They shall seek new borders. The obsession of our species have seen a new purpose. We will seek power. Yes, great power." The leopard looks now, instead of about to attack, almost fearful, incredibly concerned, and says, "I have been given permission by the Council of Elders to call you back, to leave only the governors and forces that you need to hold these lands and stop your conquest. And yet, I feel that not only would you say no and disregard the respect that we have established through centuries of culture, but I fear you would almost see us as your enemies." With a slight growl, almost a growl mixed with a purr, the jaguar looks at him, and you can suddenly see that there's these bloodshot eyes. As the eyes widen in a cat-like hunting gesture, you can see just on the sides of his eyes slight blackened veins. The jaguar goes, "You, my dear friend, have no idea. We would not consider you enemies. We would not consider you at all. If necessary, this can be the lands of the Burning One." At which point the leopard corrects him. "Surely you mean the Shining One." And the sneer from the jaguar once again. "We have found advisors from those that we conquered, those who have shown us the way, beings of great power, who we can also conquer and set under our banner. Jordan was resistant at first, until Lilith, sweet Lilith, started to whisper to him, surely, if she spoke to you, you would come with us too. And maybe you can go back and manage the Council of Elders in our name. Yes, I think you should come to the inner chambers, see what we have seen, feel what we have felt, feel the power that can burn inside us. Come with us, Ambassador." The leopard stands up, knocking the chair over. No. These pacts, and he spits on the table, a goblet of spittle, are an abomination to us all. I am Tabaxi. I may not be Naru, but I am Tabaxi, and the Naru are pure. You're tainted, and you shall fall. Not by us. We shall not stand in your way. You are spiraling into a descent. We know well the name of Chaos. One day your bones will feature in the Grand Temple as a lesson to us all. Good day, sir. And the leopard strides towards you and says, Silk Whisper, with me. He opens the door and you follow him. You stride down the corridor and you can hear this manic laughter and shouting down the corridor. The jaguar goes, Let us see who survives history. It shall be us, and only us. And this maniacal laughter
Oh dear.
dulls as the door finally closes behind you. The agile nature of this leopard as he runs down the corridors. A lot of people are looking at you and you don't seem to care. You have a feeling that Silk Whisper has no sense of ego, only a sense of duty. And those staring, she doesn't feel anything. So there's some sort of guest salon, clearly the quarters that have been given to this ambassador. And you walk in there and there's beautiful decorations, tapestries. There are places where you can just lounge, cats loving their luxury, like these large, kind of almost bean bags, kind of sofas with no backs, I guess. And instead of enjoying these creature comforts, he wheels round, slams the door, and goes, Wursha! And as he does so, there's a familiar ripple as the privacy spell right around the room, and he goes, Silk Whisper, I fear for our Lord Jaradan, and I fear for us all. This cannot happen. I'm going to leave you here. You're going to defect, effectively. Show that your duty is to the people here. And if it comes to it, you will find one of the generals that I'm sure have now been corrupted. If not knowingly, then willingly. And I set you this task. Should this general turn against us, you will slaughter him. Give me your blades. And you see the two familiar-looking short swords be handed to the leopard. And he says, I, Leofa, on behalf of the Council of Elders, hereby give you this Gaius. And there's a sheen of magic that goes over the blades. Should you strike down the general of any army with these blades, his followers will immediately bend the knee. I swear this by all the gods and by all the ancestors. I swear it by the power imbued to me by the Council of Elders. I swear it by the great temple itself that you yourself are bloodsworn to protect. Strike the general, and all shall bend the knee, and come to us once more, where they can heal, and once again become Naru. I fear that the hubris and ambition of this great army has been found corrupt. Corruption, and those who would corrupt, seek power wherever it is, my friend. It seeks power, even power that is pure. And it is insidious, parasitic. It will worm its way through whatever flaws they have, through their fears, through their ego, through their passions. And it will take them, and everything you see here shall fall. This shall all become dust. I return now to the council and share with them what I know now. The knowledge shall be left with us, with the council, so that one day all may be exonerated and all may be well again. Farewell, Silk Whisper. From now on, you and I are enemies. And he slaps her hard across the face, at which point your image ends. You instantly get from legend lore certain details that's from there. So the ambassador was actually a priest. The jaguar that you spoke to was a warlock, and he was a warlock, great old one warlock, and clearly already going mad. You get that that level at that level for someone to be in that level of corruption, to be taken with that level of madness and darkness. It would have been rife throughout the entire top level of government for Juradan. So if he at that point hadn't been corrupted, he had pretty much his entire top level of government in the process of telling him that everything is fine, whilst showing him things and taking him to the dark side effectively. A huge deception that was given to everybody concerned. You now know, Farewell, that the dynasty, the Juradan dynasty, fell to a bunch of scholars that Juradan took on out of mercy. So in the same way that Genghis Khan would take scholars, wise men, oracles, people of that nature, and include them in his people, in his army, anybody who was knowledgeable to that degree, Genghis Khan would respect them as long as they kept to his laws and things like that, unless he didn't have to kill them for some of his other reasons. He would put them in places of renown and respect in his army. Juradan did the same, and in doing so, he let a lot of corrupt arcane practitioners into his ranks, and assuming that once conquered that they would follow his enigmatic example and work to the common good, some of them managed to corrupt, and clearly some powerful beings got in there as well. Then you flash to a second, shorter scene. You can see, and it's a beautiful panorama. I mean, it's the stuff of legend. You're back on the group of islands, the archipelago that the Hermit's Isle is on. You can see tabaxi on rocks that barely break the surface of the waves, and they have placed metal fixtures that have been kind of driven into the rock and secured to the rock. As you can see this the ship coming at an incredible rate. You have a feeling it's propelled magically. It's this magically propelled skiff, and they're shouting, "It comes! It comes!" And this huge aboleth just breaks the water, and it's not the Nihilith that you see, the kind of pale, almost alabaster-coloured skin. This aboleth has got a bright, vibrant blue. Instead of the red, bloodshot eyes, you can see three large green, intelligent-looking eyes, and the four eyes that flank as well, the smaller eyes as well, and it takes everything in. These tentacles go out, and you can see tabaxi being plucked from the rocks, and they're stabbing at these tentacles as they're fighting it. And then you can see that proud general that you recently spoke to shouting orders, and suddenly a flare of arcane energy goes off. He leaps through the air onto the face of the aboleth itself, and he's there with this a sword that you know well because you now own it, as he's slamming this thing into the aboleth's face. And he's there screaming, I will have you! I will have you! And you can see this rictus on his face. You can see his eyes as well. His eyes in particular now have that same level of corruption, that kind of bloodshot look that the Jaguar had. And there's you're again in Silk Whisper's body, and she's there completely matted with the sea spray, and these huge chains are now firing out of these things that are on the rocks and holding the aboleth in place, these huge cruel hooks, like grappling hooks in the skin, and pulling it in all directions, kind of holding it in place, as these very brave and very powerful tabaxi are grappling with this giant creature. And one of the tabaxi soldiers turns around to you and says, "Now, Silk Whisper, you can see he is consumed. Do it now." And Silk Whisper mounts one of these chains, these giant chains that are holding the thing in place, and she's sprinting along the length of these chains, monk style, and trying to reach this this general in time. And the two large jaws of the aboleth grab hold of the general. And you can hear this huge voice say, "Who are you, little cat? Who are you that would parley with me? Me, an ancient being who once moved among the stars. You think yourself better than me? No. No. There's something in your head. Something corrupting you. How delicious. And yet, it vies for your attention. If I'm going to kill you, or at least possess you, if you're going to be mine, I need you to be free of this. So let's do what we can, shall we?" And you can see this tentacle just wrap around the tabaxi's throat. At this point, Silk Whisper is sprinting for all that she's worth along the length of this chain, and it's starting to leap onto the aboleth's back. And goes, "Yes, I can see you. I can see you there, little demon. Why are you here? By choice? By contract? I thought that was devils. No, I'm sorry. This one's mine. Goodbye." And you can see this ichor suddenly ooze out of the tentacle and cover the face of this general. The general breathes it in and starts coughing and gagging, and then suddenly vomits out this huge amount of tar-like liquid. And suddenly is just gasping, and you can see his eyes go back to perfectly normal. And the aboleth goes, "Not so ambitious now, are you? Doesn't matter. I'm quite interested in this empire of yours. How about let's see what you can tell me." And you watch as the tentacle just starts smearing itself over the general. And the general goes, "No! No, I'm his! I need to rescue him! No! No, please!" And the Silk Whisper reaches the top of the aboleth's head. You notice that she keeps her balance perfectly. She is... can't remember the martial monk, the monk that can use weapons, but she's that monk.
Kensei.
Kensei, yeah. That is... she's Kensei monk. And
Kensei.
Kensei monk. And she's standing on there, and the general looks straight at Silk Whisper and goes, "Do it." One of the eyes rolls back at Silk Whisper, and you can see she looks at the general, looks at the aboleth, looks at the general again, looks at the aboleth, and suddenly just rams both of the blades into the eye. The aboleth screams, throwing her off into the sea, and she starts to sink. And as she starts to sink, you hear, "Looks like you've defaulted on some sort of Silk Whisper. Silk Whisper, Where am I? What is this? What? No! And you can hear the general's voice, but with the same kind of gruffness of the aboleth. As Silk Whisper goes down into the depths, you can hear her heartbeat stopping, and you can hear this bubbling rage in your ears. And the last thought you can hear from Silk Whisper is, I disobeyed. I struck the wrong one. I broke my oath, and yet I did the right thing. The right thing. This surely has to help. What happened to the general? What is he now? And you're just overwhelmed by hatred. And you can see as the flesh starts to wither, necrotic damage rippling over Silk Whisper's form. And then that's nothing. You hear nothing. You feel nothing but this blinding rage and pain. The limits of the legend lore allows you to jump into the tabaxi that told Silk Whisper to strike. Clearly an agent of the Council of Elders. They watch as this creature dies and lies there, twitching. They're all shouting, "Yes, we did it! For Jonathan! For Jonathan!" And you see as a lot of the warriors leap into the water after their general, the lifeless body just floating there. They're trying to get hold of him so he can be subject to the revivify spell. But before they get to the body, you can just see this strike, and blood starts to fill the water. A thrashing around, even though the aboleth is still. There's just thrashing and thrashing. And the last thing that you see is the freshly undead corpse of Silk Whisper reach out of the water and slash at your face. So that's what you get with legend lore. It's a big spell.
It's a nice cutscene.
It's a very big spell. I've done some notes there. So.
Why is it always demons?
Great old ones, not demons, are they? They are different.
They are special.
They are the demons.
They are,
so
they are special, but he said not a devil, but a contract, and that usually means some form of demon from the abyss.
Yes.
So yeah, you were told about dark ones. So yeah, to give you an idea, when it comes to the warlocks, you've got the Infernal Pact, which is devils, and you've got the Great Old Ones, which is demons. There's no other demon warlock. Demons, Great Old One warlocks give themselves over to a Great Old One, also known as a demon. They are out there in the abyss. They can be in other places.
Demons, though, they are different from demons because they're like Cthulhu.
They are forms of celestials.
They're type of celestials.
Yeah. But they also number amongst them demons because they're all about madness, and that's what the abyss is. It's the place where you lose yourself, you lose your identity. So going from pandemonium and then further into the abyss, the Great Old Ones have more domain over the abyss than they do over the celestial realms. But you can find them in the celestial realms and in a few other different places as well, according to my canon. Okay, so just giving that out
but
there.
Knowing our luck, they'll all be demons.
I mean, demons is actually better than Great Old Ones because Great Old Ones you can't normally fight. They normally just make you mad.
Yeah. I'm going to give this to you, I was about to say for free, but actually, Legend Lore is a powerful spell. You know that the pacts with these demons will end upon death. Demons or Great Old Ones, regardless. Great Old One warlocks, their pact ends at death. So, if they are dead, then it means that you don't have to worry about these great old ones anymore. The great old ones have moved on to bigger and better pacts. So you probably don't have to deal with them anymore, just whatever's left from the mess they made.
Hmm.
And this goes for like they died and then they are spirits as well, that they're moved on from spirits.
Yeah, you're probably more likely to have to deal with dark undead spirits than demons in this case. I wasn't going to give you a double dose of demons. This is mostly an undead storyline.
Yeah, because we don't have enough of those.
Yeah. Trying to mix it up.
All right. So Silk Whisper was a spy.
Silk Whisper was a covert weapon set in place to destroy whatever general she was assigned to. When that general showed signs of corruption, so that his people wouldn't be corrupt.
Mm.
Yeah, and then he became uncorrupted from the Aboleth somehow.
Well,
And
the
Aboleth uncorrupted him so that he could corrupt him instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, their challenge rating aside, and because I hate rating the power of a creature based on its challenge rating, that's only them in battle. Aboleth are immortal beings. They gain a lot of knowledge, and they're able to do some really cool stuff, especially anything to do with the mind. So because this guy was his mind was corrupted, the Aboleth was just able to just get in there and knock him out. It was just like, get out. This is my kitty. This is my toy now. And that's exactly what it did. It just knocked him out. And at that point, he realized what corruption was inside him, and that's why his last words were, "I need to save him. I need to save Joradan." Because once he had seen how corrupted he was, he put everything together and was like, "Oh shit." Yeah.
Yeah. Oh shit, indeed. Okay, now we know a whole lot of kitty lore. What's up?
I think we can. I don't have any particular questions for. Well, I can't think of questions for Silk Whisper, but I think we could move on because we had a lot of lore download from that.
Yep.
Yeah, I give Eclipse back the skull and.
Yeah. Apology for the lore dump, but that's what Legend lore does.
Yes. Legend lore, lore dumps.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the reason why I used it. I've been waiting to use it, and it was needed to be used on something that needed some more information, and yeah.
This will give you significant bonuses to all rolls now in the Canopic Jar quests.
Yeah.
So,
was there any more information about that Lilith character?
Yes. Largely, rather than reciting everything, you can just ask questions of Farewell, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I know that one." So the Lilith character, Lilith was an elven noble that had taken to romancing Joradan. She was I want to say kind of like a concubine. Think of a kind of bard / geisha / socialite, and incredibly knowledgeable, incredibly influential, and she wasn't conquered by the Joradan progression. She sorted out herself.
She was a high elf, was she?
Yes, she was a high elf.
Because that's not suspicious.
Yeah, and it was presumed that she was from Sylvania, to the south, but that wasn't confirmed. That's not been confirmed in any.
Especially her name is it's a demonic name. I mean, not devilish name, not demonic. Devilish.
Yes.
Lilith is the name
Biblical.
of.
Lilith is the name that Eve took after becoming a demon, I think. Something like that.
It's a very famous female demon.
Yes.
Devil.
It's
not demon.
Female persecution in religious text. It's fine. It's a bloody name. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's been a while since I brushed up my devil lore.
Well, Well, it was the first one that sounded right that came up on the character generator. So, on the name generator. So there we go.
Ah.
Yeah, it sounded intelligent.
Fair enough.
I rejected Sharon.
So that would have been funny, though.
Are you saying Sharon's not intelligent?
I'm just saying,
beware the great demon, Sharon.
I like that. The weirdest
It's
name
pronounced
should
Sharon.
It's just like the architect's name is Bob, and Simon keeps like not agreeing with us that his name is Bob.
You will cower.
Yeah.
You will cower before the dread Eric. Yeah, it just has to sound right. Lilith sounded sinister but innocent, knowledgeable but potentially naive. It just had that onomatopoeia to it.
Either way, we're almost at time. Anything we want to do in the city before we drag our asses over to Eclipse's home city next week?
Yeah,
we're
nice. We're giving Simon a week to prepare.
Yes.
After I panicked and had to give everything to Kate, now you're not doing it for another week. Thank you.
Yes.
That's because we had a lord up, and we can go now, like just speed through, but.
You could have just done.
I thought there was something, Felicia, you wanted to get done here in the city.
I'm gonna have someone get started on a specific teleportation circle to our new island.
Sure.
But that's about it. Also grab some clothes, because we need better clothes if we're gonna go to a warm place, but we're at the tavern, so that's not really a problem.
So, Felicia, specifically, are you going to get an Arcanist in Ostergal to do it, or are you going to send off to a Skalran Arcanist to first teleport here and then go out to the island?
Yes.
Which one?
I am gonna ask a Skalran Arcanist to do it, because I don't really trust the Ostergold ones right now.
Okay.
And I know the Skalran ones do good shit.
Yep, thankfully I checked your stats and you're intelligent enough to think of this. So that's why I suggested it. You send a message through one of your Skalran contacts, and they tell you, we'll get straight on that. And they do reply back that your recent present was incredibly well received, and you are the talk of the court.
Good.
Yay. I will quickly go to Gareth and Jacob and ask if they want to come along to Ostras. It will be no longer than a day. I mean, if people want to come up, I'm not sure if you use that into like art,
there.
We're on a budget for time, but you go over to Garrett and you start to Garrett. And you start to mention this, and Garrett and Jacob are both there. Like, of course, we'd love to come. Are you kidding? Do you realise how much grant money we have to get to have holidays like this? It's that would be fantastic to see the temple, the temple of Naruka. And Jacob goes, I've been there before, but you've seen it. It's so huge. It's so hard to take it all in. So many vaults, and I didn't realize most of it's underground. It's this tiny little box on the surface.
Oh yes.
I suppose that's the only way that you can keep it safe. And they say that only in the public areas do you go so far down, that it goes down far further. And you can see that both of them, both the dwarven archaeologist and the human wizard, are all kind of aflutter. And when you mention the Beatbird could come along, you hear, huh? Road trip! Yeah, going on the road. Yeah.
I mean, we're going to a teleportation circle, but you can pretend it's a road trip.
Hey, we got to walk on a road to get there, right? And there's going to be roads there.
And we will be back later.
We won't be away for too long. Maximum of like a night.
I can get a gig overnight. overnight. Just give me one night, and I'm gonna get those guys moving. Hey, can they move as well as you, Eclipse? You know, with all the kind of thing. Because it's the spine. My spine's thick. It's got like big what's those called?
Vertebrae.
Vertebrates. Yeah, those things. And it means I'm good at lifting, but it takes a while to get the butt moving. But you guys can just do that naturally. It's nice. And tails. I mean, come on. I want a tail. I want to dance with a tail. There'll be loads of tails. Lots of tails dancing.
Yes,
Cora, you gotta be there. You gotta be there. You gonna be there?
I am planning to come. Yeah.
Road trip. Okay, teleportation trip. No, it doesn't jam. Doesn't jam. Road trip. We're going road trip. Okay. Yeah, sure. I'm coming too.
Okay. How many people can the teleportation circle take? Can it take enough?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it can take a small squad of soldiers. You're pretty fine. Yeah.
I will hold my scrying. I hold off my scrying until we come back to the city.
Well, you can do it at the beginning of the next session. To be fair, and in all fairness, it's scrying. So scrying,
You can do it over there.
you just have to be on the same plane of existence, I think. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I can do it anywhere. It's more about headspace. Like trying to, so Cora might be like, she might put it off again, and I think there'd probably be a moment after the whole law thing, and then people are like, oh, we should go do this, and I expect Farewell gave her a look, and she's like, I'm just putting it off again, kind of thing, yeah.
Under the table fist bump.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So much more believable character when they procrastinate as much as the real people.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that brings us up to a few minutes to 11. I'll write up the notes for this. I have no idea what I'm going to do with Beat, but I didn't even manage to do the voice properly. He threw another curveball at me. I was like, yeah, I guess Beatbook can come. So I kind of said he was on tour, but where's the fun in that? Okay. So
he's a fan favorite.
with
He's our friend. If we invited the two other guys that are always with him, it would be kind of rude not to invite him as well.
yeah, he's Garrett's lodger.
Mm-hmm.
Garrett has him around so he doesn't feel like this lonely old fart reading books on his own in his dusty old house. As much as he complains all the time about the things that Beatba does, he actually couldn't do without it. He'd be they're my very own odd couple. What can I say? With a trip to the island nation, the exotic island nation of Austran on the cards, you guys start preparations with your friends Garrick, Jacob, and Beatba, and ready to set off on a mini adventure. There's not much you have to do. But
say hi to my mum and dad.
Well, you get to meet the Tabaxi Naru that aren't your crazy cat companions. So a little bit of, and we'll be able to sort out the party fund in the meantime. I'll have a look through my notes as well, and you'll be able to do some spending in the ancient Tabaxi city of Naruka. So all that to look forward to next session. We'll call that for tonight. Thank you very much for playing, and thank you everybody for watching. Once again, a big invite to those who enjoy our particular brand of madness. Click the Discord link below, down here, right down here, and join us. Some people who have watched us for some time have started playing one-shots with us, and we'll continue the madness further. Until then, stay safe, stay at home as much as you can, take care, and we will see you next week. Well, actually, we'll see you well before next week, but we'll see you next week for the Benefactor.
We might see you over the weekend, potentially. We were discussing it, so follow if you're not already, so that you can see when we go live, because our schedule is changing.
Yeah, we're throwing.
we're always here on Fridays, but we might stream some more stuff.
extra
Friday
stuff.
is all.
I mean, it's not like the government's letting us outside.
Yeah.
We're stuck in these little boxes.
We're gamers, damn it! This is our time. This is our time. Yeah, we are doing off the cuff one shots. As far as my overactive imagination can produce them, I am offering them out to people, and that's only going to get worse because I'm going stir crazy in this flat. And we'll also, at the beginning of next week, I think, be doing some Star Wars one shots as well. And that's the last announcement I have for today, actually, because I'll be releasing a quick video as a teaser onto Twitch tomorrow. So
Nice.
look out for that. But until then, follow us, join us on the Discord, join the chaos, and we'll see you very soon. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.